Welcome.
Welcome to Switching Reels.
I was going to say that.
Hi, Connor.
Hi, Trenton. Welcome to Switching Reels.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Welcome to my home where we do Switching Reels.
Yep. But you're welcome more than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not welcome here. I'm squatting.
No. You're very welcome here. We have a guest bed and everything.
Oh. Well, now I'm really squatting.
Not really squatting. Yeah. Nope, we have not defined the terms of this at all.
No.
You've been here for like a year and a half, too.
Yeah.
When are you going home?
I'm not.
Okay, good. That's lovely. I like you here. So thank you for
Okay.
being here. Thanks for
Yeah.
being my co-host. You're
Yeah.
like a year and a half.
Yeah, we've been
or
doing this for a
something.
while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Like we're creeping up on 2 years.
Yeah.
We haven't even made it to the top 50 yet, which is fine.
Yeah.
We've had a good time.
We have.
Speaking of,
And we're slowing down as well because
we
we're
are doing things like this.
Yeah.
Where we're watching just
like
Miyazaki movies.
half of these are on the top 250
You
list.
keep saying half. I'm pretty sure it's less than that.
It probably is now.
They've kicked them all off.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Damn you, Marvel.
I know. Wait, has Marvel even taken any of the spots?
They
We have
have
a couple
just
of
not
Spider-Man movies.
just not as high as
but, okay,
we are right now.
got you. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Awesome. So we've had some cool developments.
Mhm.
Before we go into what we talked about today, we have some cool little tier lists.
Yeah.
that I have been saying I was going to print for a while and have now done so. So now we have one token. So far, this is our fourth, technically our fifth movie. So we're behind a little bit on tokens, but
Yeah.
we'll get them again soon. We'll get more of them. This one is the Count of Monte Cristo. So
This is Lupin the Third.
Castle of Cagliostro is what it
Yeah.
looks like for those that are in the video. If you'd like to go and see it online somehow for the audio people, then go watch the video. Just kidding. I'll probably post social media about it. They're pretty awesome.
If you're just listening to the audio, it's a guy who looks like Lupin the Third
True.
in front of a castle,
Which does not look like Lupin the Third.
which does not look like Lupin the Third.
It's great.
It really is. It does look great.
They look fantastic. The artist that did our theme song also did these, so shout out to Mr. Sandman.
Yeah.
And so we get to place one movie. Hopefully
Yep.
next week we will place the rest of them if I print all of them by that point.
And it makes me sad that something this pretty needs to go at the bottom of F.
I'm gonna put it at the top of D for now and probably move it as time goes on.
And you were telling me off screen, we're probably gonna have slightly smaller ones.
Probably gonna have some
in the
smaller
future.
ones in the future
So-
because these ones are huge.
Yeah, they
You can
are.
only put like 2, maybe 3 in one tier.
Yeah,
So
which is gonna be a real shame for S and A
S
tier.
and A tier. Exactly. You gotta choose. Gotta kill your darlings.
Speaking of which, what did we watch today, Trenton?
We watched My Neighbor Totoro. Wait, who's killing darlings in My Neighbor Totoro?
No one's, you were moving on too fast. I was talking about the S and A tier.
I see. That makes much more sense. Good. Awesome. Yes. So
To spoil some of my opinions
Opinions.
about this.
My Neighbor Totoro. That is what we watched today. It was a lovely movie.
Yeah.
Like I've now seen it twice.
Yep.
It is just a beautiful little movie.
This is the first time I've seen it and not been like very, very sleep deprived.
Yeah,
So,
so you can actually see it for once.
yeah,
Do you remember if this is on the list and where it is?
it was on the list.
Yeah, everything's gotten kicked off the list recently. So while you look that up, I'll go over. I think if it isn't on the list, that it is just like simplistic and enough, like gorgeous enough that it should be on the top 250. If it isn't, like I would put this above Iron Giant, unfortunately, but barely because I love Iron Giant.
Okay.
Barely. That's it.
This one, okay, I think it should be on the list. I think Iron Giant deserves to be higher
It
on
should
the
be in the
list
top
than
100
it is.
or something, my man. Like, it's such a good movie. Oh, if you haven't seen Iron Giant yet, please watch it before we get there because it's going to be another like 10 years by the time we finally watch Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But you deserve to see this movie before then. So enjoyment for me on this one, my enjoyment's a solid like 9, I think. It's just such a beautiful little movie and really, really well done. Did it get kicked off?
Nope, it's on here.
Oh, what is it?
178.
178. Lovely.
Which
I'll
I
be
think
able
is
to-
about a
I'm
good
okay
spot
with that.
for it.
Yeah, no, 178. Like it is on the top 250. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
It's in the top 200.
Yep.
Very cool with that.
Yeah.
Not sad. So enjoyment probably solid 9. Technical, it's also a solid 9, if not 10. Like there's very little that I dislike about this movie.
I think for me, I do love this movie a lot. That said, I have lots of small problems with it. And as a result, while my enjoyment still probably stays at like strong 8 to a late 9.
Yeah.
Technical where I have to take these points out.
That makes
And so
sense.
it probably brings it down to like strong 7 to a light 8.
Oh, interesting. And where do you put it on Miyazaki?
On Miyazaki, this one's probably center of B.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's a great movie,
Good.
but we're also comparing it to his absolute best.
Yes.
And I think this one has the things that it does really, really well, it does perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that are a little weaker are fine.
Exactly. Like it's not very much not Castle. Like, oh,
Yeah.
the weak parts are just cringy almost. So
Yes, but they get on my nerves more.
Oh, these ones do?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's probably like just there,
Yeah.
Like
And some of it is just what the movie lacks, but also what it lacks is what makes it what it is.
I know.
Right? Like this one is a very, very simple story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple story told well.
Yes.
But also one of the things that I love about Miyazaki is the way that he's able to take these very, very complex stories and make them into something that is packed in very tightly
Absolutely.
and feels just great to go through, and very emotional the entire time.
Completely agree.
Which brings me to the thing that I think this movie is a masterpiece at,
Mm-hmm.
which is emotion.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you feel what you should be feeling in this movie.
Every single time.
Every time.
There aren't a ton of different emotions that it wants you to feel, but
No.
I'd say there's 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
It does wonder incredibly well. It does
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
it does fear very well.
Very well.
It does sadness very well.
Mm-hmm.
It does joy very well. And yeah. But also it just doesn't have everything I want from a Miyazaki film.
Totally.
I was thinking this is probably the first film that we've watched so far where I'm like, this is fully Miyazaki.
That's
though.
what I was feeling while I was watching it. I'm like, oh, this is a Miyazaki movie.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Like
I found it.
Yeah. Like we've noticed certain, like everyone
Elements.
we've said that it's more than any of the other ones we had seen so far.
Exactly.
And this is the first one that I think is just like, it's undeniable. There's no way that this could be made by anyone else.
Yes.
Like
This was.
this is Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I
well done.
still love it.
Me too.
I still think it's a great movie.
No, it's a fantastic movie. I completely agree. Ooh.
We gotta go over the spoiler wall for the
Okay,
thing I
yeah,
wanna say
let's
next.
go over it. I'm happy with that. Okay.
Um,
Taking out my ladder.
Yeah.
We're at the spoiler wall.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You say the things that
I normally
you
do say
yeah.
the things. So, like, comment, subscribe if you like what we're doing. We've been doing some new things recently. This tier list is kind of fun. We have a theme song. We're in the work of creating some sort of intro animation.
Yeah.
And so lots of cool things going on. If you like what we're doing, let me know. Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
I've been changing the YouTube channel a bunch, so let me know what you guys want to see.
Yeah.
What you don't want to see, and all of those things.
Yeah. If you want to see less of me, that makes sense, but unfortunately, it's not really an option.
Yeah, unfortunately, and don't say that.
You can say you want less of Trenton, but he will gleefully be there anyway.
Yeah, it will be. I will relish in your pain.
All right, over the spoiler wall. When I watched this the first time, I could have sworn there was an ending where the mom dies.
Really?
So I was waiting for that shoe to
Oh.
drop through this entire
Movie.
Yeah.
Is that disappointing for you?
No, not really.
Good.
So here's the weird thing.
Okay.
It's not disappointing for me, but it did make my biggest frustration with the movie happen.
More. Okay.
Because when they just finish that scene and then they go home and then it's just kind of over.
Yeah.
Like there's
It's
no
just kind of-
ending to this movie. It just
No.
kind of is like,
It fades
okay.
to black almost, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
no,
have some
it doesn't
corn.
even fade to black. It's
Yeah,
just a
just...
smash cut.
It's just throw it on the ground. It's
Yeah.
done now.
And like they add a little bit through the post credits or through the credit scroll, but not
a
enough.
lot.
Not enough for it to feel like a narrative ending. Yeah, so that kind of bothered me. Is I'm like, we didn't really have time for this to like fade out. Like it just goes from mom's
Doing okay.
probably gonna die to, oh, actually she's doing fine.
That's a good point.
And then, okay, if she's doing fine, then we can be done.
Yeah.
Like,
now okay. If that was all that was happening, we can be done now.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I would have liked to see maybe another 10 minutes. Sounds excessive with this short
Feels like
runtime,
it's excessive.
but I really think that amount of time to sort of breathe and be like, okay, we're getting maybe prepared for mom to come home.
Yeah,
and
or mom does come home.
Or we go to the hospital and like talk to her about coming home. And then like even just having, I would have ended it with like they bring her out to meet Totoro.
Oh,
and the movie ends there.
Yeah.
Like where she meets Totoro.
I don't like that ending because it breaks the adults can't see Totoro thing.
Yeah, but that's not really well established, and I wondered about that, but I wasn't entirely sure if that was the case.
It's fairly well established.
It's established that
it's very shown, not told.
Yeah,
very shown and not told.
But with the bus, it's no one can see the bus except for those two.
Yeah.
The dad seems like he should be able to see it, but he can't. And the explanation he gives is the spirits only reveal themselves to the people that they feel like revealing themselves to.
Yeah.
And so that was my understanding of it.
Interesting. But we have grandma at the very beginning saying,
she
I
used
to
be able to.
them when I was a kid. And
That's
I'm glad
true.
that you can now at your age.
Yeah.
Highly implying that it's an age-based system.
Okay, that's fair. But with the rest of this being as soft magic as it is, I see no problem with them
just being like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
See, like, I didn't feel it was so soft magic that it was unbelievable. I didn't.
That what was unbelievable?
That
the movie was unbelievable?
Yes, because the magic things that happen are to the children. Anytime that something magic happens, no adult can observe it.
Yeah.
Except for the corn. The fact that the corn can get there, that's the one caveat to my argument. But everything else is generally self-contained to the children.
What about the tunnel?
Which tunnel?
The ones that they go through to go see Totoro.
Oh, for sure. It only happens for the children.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Dad goes through.
He goes through it, but he doesn't get to the right spot.
Yeah, he doesn't get to the right spot,
I
but he
know.
goes through it.
So the magic doesn't happen.
Okay, but that's magic. The tunnel itself is magic.
No, the tunnel itself isn't magic.
You're telling me that that tunnel that was created
Uh-huh.
was a natural growth of the surrounding plant life.
Absolutely. It's a scurrying hole for normal wildlife.
Okay, normal wildlife don't have scurrying holes that clean.
Sure they don't. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, it's Japan. They have different wildlife than we have here. And I'm not nearly in nature enough to be able to confirm or deny this. I am a city boy through and through. I cannot guarantee that these bury hole things are not naturally occurring.
To our millions of Japanese viewers,
Please write us in and let us know. Is that tunnel naturally occurring or not?
how many Totoros have you met in your life?
I would like it to be more than one.
Please. Please answer only in chicken nuggets. I don't know, man. I lost the plot on that one.
Anyway, it is a very soft magic system. I think it's lovely. I also love still the thing that I come back to with every Miyazaki movie of like it's trying to hit a vibe
Yeah.
and it does it perfectly.
Yeah.
And
I
the
would agree.
vibe is the purpose. The fact that we end the movie with the fact that, oh, mom's going to be fine. She looks great. And this is another like moment of childhood potential trauma that is now resolved. We're fine. We can go back home
Yeah.
and life is going to be normal again.
I think the big difference for me is my favorite thing about, like, especially a lot of the later Miyazaki films is, yeah, the vibe's still important, but the ideas are so captivating.
Yeah.
This one didn't really feel like it had a whole lot of ideas it was trying to convey. It was mostly trying to convey vibes.
Yeah.
But
it's so sweet.
It is.
And cute, and it's about small children.
I cried multiple times.
It's so good.
I told you, like, the girl May reminds me of every story that I've heard about my wife when she was a kid.
I wasn't there for her entire childhood, but I was there for a lot of it. It's pretty accurate.
Is it close? Okay.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
But yeah, I do still think it's fantastic.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Does
this one have any themes outside of?
I don't think so.
We have the passing remark of when humans and trees were friends.
Yeah.
Does this hint to Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind?
No. Although if you wanted to put it in a timeline, this is probably between now. No, not now. This is between when the trees and humans were friends and Nausicaa.
And Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind. Where they are very much not friends.
Yeah. Well, no, the trees are still friends with the humans. That's the whole reveal.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind.
Hopefully you've seen it already, but hopefully not.
Hopefully
yeah, they are
not.
the true friends.
Yeah.
So many things where it's just like, hey, if you let nature be nature, it's better for you.
Typically, yeah.
It's a very Japanese,
like
motto though as well.
It is
very cool.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about is there's this concept in writing where a sense of wonder can very easily be twisted into a sense of horror.
Yeah.
I think that this movie is the perfect example of that.
Okay.
The number of scenes that you can just be like, oh, this is a horror movie. It just turns out okay.
It just turns out fine. Like her getting
every
the
single
acorns,
time.
Like following the trail of acorns at the beginning for May. I'm glad that these are some nice spirits.
Even before that, like the scene where they are looking up the stairs
Mm-hmm.
and like they're hearing stuff going on
Yeah.
upstairs, and then they choose to
Go
up.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Like every horror film protagonist that dies.
And this is why I absolutely hate the argument about, oh, the people in horror movies are all stupid. It's like, no, they're not. They're doing what any normal human being would do in that situation. They don't know they're in a horror movie.
They don't know they're in a horror movie.
They did not pay for a ticket to go see people get murdered.
We did.
We did.
Oh, that's good.
Take your meta bullshit and get out of here.
It's the same like your characters don't know what genre they're in whenever you're writing.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
Oh, I mean, beautiful. You've seen I bring the same attitude to D&D. Like,
yeah, that's true. You're very good at anti-meta as it comes to your characters in D&D.
Yeah. Oh, the dragon's not hostile anymore? I didn't know that. I was unconscious.
Now I'm ripped to pieces.
That was a different dragon. And I was abandoned by my party.
Yeah, you were. It's really fun to kill your characters. It's really fun to kill most characters.
That's fair.
I have one left if we ever start again that I get to kill of the originals.
Oh?
Yeah, Thrain is still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. That's totally different issue.
Completely different issue.
That said, like, so you've got the haunted house at the beginning, which people keep referring to it as a haunted house.
Like, it's fine. It's a haunted house. Everyone's like, yeah, it's a haunted house.
Get out of there. It's haunted.
Exactly. You have the entire, like...
Then you have the acorns being, like, left as, like, the... almost a reverse Hansel and Gretel.
Exactly.
Where it's drawing them into the forest. And then they meet a giant monster, and the little girl doesn't know that it's friendly and starts, like, just...
antagonizing it.
Yeah.
And this thing
then it roars at her
multiple times.
And she stays there and waits for its claws to come up and grab her and shove it in its mouth. Like,
exactly. That's what we're expecting.
Chomping it with its human teeth.
Why does Totoro have human teeth when it's roaring, but like Cheshire Cat teeth when he's smiling?
No, his teeth remain the same. Well, not really.
No.
They space out and get closer, but like for the most part, they're still the flat teeth. But his smile changes.
Mm-hmm. His smile changes,
but
which means his teeth have to change.
Anyway, like they're standing in the rain, alone by themselves, and their dad isn't on the bus.
Isn't on the bus.
And the monster comes out, stands under the single streetlight with them.
I'm gonna get such good material out of it.
This little girl is by herself, and her sister is asleep on her back, being nothing but a burden.
Nothing but a burden.
And we're just supposed to go,
first thing
oh, this is so fun! Look at the Totoro!
And you get this just huge cat. You know, like that cat is terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Even like in this very cutesy movie.
Yeah.
Like something crazy should be happening here.
Yeah.
Also, they willingly walk into this cat.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Which has a hollowed out body.
Again, you're right. How is this not horror? This body is hollowed out if you think about it too hard.
Yeah. Well, and it's not so much about whether you're thinking about it too hard. It's about thinking about, okay, if I were to twist this into a horror movie, how easy would that be?
So easy.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even
just show up in the middle of the night to grow a tree.
Oh, well, yeah, they've got the midnight ritual thing going on that they involve the children in.
I love this take.
Like, again, it's not really a take. Like, I'm not saying that the movie is different than it is. Like, it's not one of the, like, oh, have you thought about how all these kids movies are
I
actually
haven't done an analysis on how easy it is to go and change My Neighbor Totoro into like My Neighbor Totoro, but in a red font. You know, like
the other thing that came up
just
for me
Totoro.
is like the entire plot line that takes up like the last quarter with May just being
running
missing.
off. Yeah,
Like that's straight out of a horror movie. Like you take the ending of this movie and you put it side by side with the beginning of it. Not so much the movie, but the book. Like you could see some
Uncanny
similarities.
resemblances.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like
I love that.
That was just something that I noticed while I was watching it, and I'm like, this is probably the prime example.
Yeah.
Like, there are other ones that do this on purpose.
Mhm.
Things like, I mean, the classic example is Monkey's Paw. Are you familiar with the story of Monkey's Paw?
No.
Oh, okay. So the whole thing with the monkey's paw is it's a monkey's paw that has 3 fingers being held up.
Okay.
And it grants you 3 wishes.
Oh.
But all of the wishes, like it's a genie story. Genie. Yeah. Right. You wish for one thing and it gives you what you asked for, but it's in a very twisted,
it was a hag.
kind of horrible way.
Totally.
And so like this couple receives it and they ask for their son to come back from the grave. And like this is old enough that it's not like a super well established trope that if you do that, obviously he's going to come back as just like a corpse that has been reanimated. But yeah, so like there are things that do it that way intentionally, or something like Pan's Labyrinth, which is like, have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
No.
Okay. It's a great movie.
I've heard
and
Pan's
I'm pretty
Labyrinth
sure it's on
awesome
this list.
Also. I'm looking forward to that if it is.
Yeah.
I should watch that one if it is on the list.
But like that entire thing is like, it feels very fairy tale, but even from the beginning, you're like, something's off with this fairy tale, and it's pretty brutal.
And it's like,
and so like, it's one of those that like, it's not a part of the movie, but you could kind of see how someone would be like, oh, this is the girl twisting her reality into a fantasy world so that she can escape. And it doesn't work for the whole movie, but for a decent amount of it, you could probably do it.
Completely agree. That's crazy. I think that he slightly solves that a little bit. Like in Spirited Away, we mentioned a couple times how like more visceral it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you could have done something similar with Spirited Away if not for the fact that they leaned a little bit more into it being a little more gritty and like punchy. And I wonder if something like that happened here, if it would make us feel less like it would just be so easy to tilt.
It starts less idyllic, and this movie also has like an essential setup for horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we got this cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's very nice, and we get to have our peace and quiet as a family together.
Mm-hmm.
Like classic really setup for horror. And there's something going on with the house that's kind of weird, but we're not really worried about it. We just moved here. Like
exactly. We don't know what's going on.
The house might blow over, which would suck.
Because we just moved into it. You are expecting that to happen too?
Yeah.
House collapses, killing 3. Mother dies in hospital.
Out of spite.
Out of spite. Oh no. I'm glad I don't mark these for kids.
Well, yeah, I can't rage against the the meta bullshit. If there are children, I'm sorry, children. I have no problem with children. It's just I can't be unfiltered around them, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Lovely. All right. Any other things that are cool and stand out in this movie? We haven't done summaries yet either.
oh yeah, I feel like I kind of did mine in a very long form.
I feel like you kind of did too, but also you made it horror.
Yeah.
Like I could go in such a bunch of those together and just make it a horror version of My Neighbor Totoro, which is fantastic. So I'll go. My Neighbor Totoro follows a family of 3. Just kidding. There's 4. The mom's in the hospital. You wonder why the family is so happy for the first few scenes of the movie if there's no mom. But then you're like, oh no, the mom's alive. It's okay. She just might die. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And so we follow Mei and Sasuke. I mean, sorry, not Sasuke. Sasuke. And they move to this very decrepit house that is kind of cool. Well, their professor dad, who may or may not have depression because he doesn't ever understand what should be done at any one moment of the day, outside of going and giving lectures and
Can attest.
caring for his children when he thinks about it. All move to the country. They have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
The moving to the country, surprisingly, is lovely. And then there are more cool monsters. The small child finds them first, as small children are prone to do. And then the older child finds them next. They're very nice monsters. Again, feels kind of weird that they're very nice monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, the entire movie is just, oh, look at these nice monsters. And the fact that our life isn't that bad. Except for when our mom's about to die, we think. Because someone sent a telegram! Instead of just being like, hey, you know, got a cold, you can't come back this weekend. So there, anyway, there's,
what
happens.
They do address the cold.
They do address the cold. She does. It's just like last time, she's gonna die. And so you take a very sharp turn from, oh, everything's going pretty well, I like these cool monsters, to I need to go and give my mom some magic corn so that she is healed. But also gets herself lost because she's a 4-year-old trying to find a hospital that's 3 hours away by foot. It's so far away, small child. And then the nice monsters don't eat the children. Help them find each other. Help them find their mom and go home.
Cool. I liked your summary. But to be clear, there was a part where you just said she. And it was very unclear as to whether you were talking about May
mom
or the mom.
Sasuke.
And so it made it sound like the mom was a 4-year-old girl.
Whoops.
So,
you're welcome, audience.
Yeah.
This is what everyone around me has to put up with at all times.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun. There was something else that I wanted to address. The dad having depression might have been it.
That's
what... probably. Oh wait, no.
Nice.
This was at the beginning. It sounded like when you were saying we don't understand why this family is so happy, and then we realized that the mom is sick.
Oh, that's why they're so happy.
They moved to the country and are happy because mom's far away.
Not mean it that way, but I did say it that way. Yeah. Please get better, Mom.
Oh. Okay. There was the dad has depression thing, but I also want to address the corn.
The corn.
So there is actually, because of the way that this is set up, there is actually some indicator that the mom eating the corn is what made her better.
Really?
Yeah. She gets the corn. That's the last we see of mom and dad.
Yeah.
In the movie. Die. Until the end credits scene where mom's coming back.
Oh, nice. I mean, sure, that could indicate it, but like the weird way that this movie does time lapses, we don't know if that was like the next day or a month from now
That's
or like
fair.
3 years from now. Like, there's no way of telling. Every time a letter is written to the mother, we have no idea how far we just time jumped.
I feel like it's not long because like there's a pretty strong indicator that dad is visiting mom in the hospital when he goes to lecture
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
They do hit summer break at some point near the end, and it is long enough that you can take an acorn from seed to sprout, which is a fair amount
With
of time.
magic.
I see, but she mentions the fact that May keeps going out there.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
true.
a lot of time. Like, that's where I'm saying, like, you're harping
Yeah.
on the soft magic system, but most of the time the soft magic system is the children's imagination. And then
I don't
just
think it
seems
is.
to be correlation with the fact that there's something else cool that happens.
I don't think there is. I think it is a soft magic system because there is a strong indication that, like, if nothing else, they're sharing this hallucination, which is not something that human beings can do.
Yeah, it is.
Nope.
It is?
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought shared hallucinations were a thing.
I am.
What about the Mandela effect?
Okay. That's a whole different thing. That's an issue of almost a flawed memory kind of issue, not a
actively hallucinating.
Yeah, like they are legitimately seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
When they latch onto Totoro and ride a top that
At top speed.
takes them all around and then up to the top of a tree.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they
I
fall asleep and
reckon-
wake up again and there's no tree there.
I recognize that the tree is gone, but they still both remember.
The dream.
Okay, yeah, but they're sharing a dream. At the very least, that's magic.
One of them is 4 years old.
They did not discuss the dream before they go out, and they're
one of
like,
them is
whoa!
One of them's like 8 or 9, maybe 10. I don't know.
Okay.
She's pretty old, for sure. But, like,
The old one was Granny. She's much older than 8 or 9.
the point of view of this story is the children.
Yeah,
We don't ever get a reliable narrator.
I don't think that's the case. I think the point of view is the children, but the children are not the narrator in this scenario.
I think the children are the narrator.
This is an omniscient narrator. Cameras are always, in some capacity, omniscient narrators.
Well, that makes total sense. But you only get a camera that has a child in it, or a child interacting with a father across the telephone line.
That's not true.
Okay.
When Dad is working at his
Oh,
desk.
dang it, multiple times. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. You're right there. Okay, I had to get this one up. Yeah,
So
you want that one.
this
Soft
movie
magic system.
has a soft magic system.
Its effects include door dashing corn to your sick mom and making trees grow slightly faster.
And also wild adventures. You know.
Is that a soft magic system?
Yes.
Okay. It's child's imagination.
Child's imagination is a soft magic system.
I will agree with you there.
If it's actually
Absolutely.
happening, which there is indication that it is.
Imagine if you, like... See, what they should have done is just shoved one of the kids off of Totoro whenever he's doing the top speed thing. See if they're dead in the morning. Also, they find a sandal in the pond. You're just terrified. You
Yeah.
see these people searching the pond with bamboo sticks.
Yeah. That was a really dark moment.
That's a really dark moment.
And like I understand that they were like trying to raise the stakes and that kind of thing.
That implies that you know she's dead.
Right, yeah. That, like,
You're just looking for a body at this point.
right, that's why they're dredging the pond.
Exactly.
Also, every time I do see that scene, my first thought is like, okay, so somebody just threw a sandal in the pond. Like,
exactly.
it's whatever.
It's like, no, I don't remember exactly what May's shoe looks like. Narrator. Should I?
Well, okay, maybe this is just because I grew up in the suburbs, but the amount of times you find
shoes,
just random things,
and random stuff, and gutters and other small wildlife areas.
Yeah, like you get pretty desensitized to it pretty fast,
pretty quick. This was a rural area,
right? And that's why I gave the caveat that, like, okay, maybe it's just me, but I find it hard to believe that, oh, we found a sandal, that means she's dead. Like,
she's gone.
That's
they do mention, it's just grandma overreacting again.
Still, feels like some pretty weak circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Love it.
My Neighbor Totoro, solid B.
Solid B.
That's FDCB right here. Right in the middle.
Get some legs and some more printed stuff by the next time.
Yeah. And then this will be a little steadier.
That'll be nice.
Cool.
Good. What are we watching next week?
Porco
Rosso? I keep asking these questions.
I think we were supposed to watch Spirited Away next week, but because we've already watched that one.
Interesting. Yeah, we can go back and use the old one for that.
Yeah.
I need to go and add that then to I have a playlist on YouTube that is the Miyazaki movies. So if anyone wants to go and see all of these after they're done, please check out that playlist.
Yeah. Okay. Animation. Self. Archive. Director. Here we go.
Director.
Wait. Kiki's Delivery Service.
Kiki's Delivery Service. Okay, good. We're
so
have a great time next week.
I was wrong.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is after Porco Rosso and Princess Mononoke.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay. There you go. He really solidified his craft by the time Spirited Away came out. Is it Spirited Away and then Howls?
Spirited Away and then Howls.
Wow. That's cool.
And then after that is Ponyo.
Ooh, ham!
Okay, I'm gonna spoil a little bit. I love Ponyo.
Ponyo is so good.
Ponyo, I think, is the natural evolution of My Neighbor Totoro, and it fixes all of the things that I have a problem with
it's
from
also
this.
Cute monster girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I think you can make a lot of the same arguments for the horror aspect of Ponyo that you could here. I've only seen it once, so we'll see. But I'm going to try and remember it by the time we get there, because it's going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is making me think of all of, like, the sort of kid-aimed anime stuff that I just genuinely love from the bottom of my heart.
Yay!
And I want to bring it all up, but also some of it is still on this list. So, well, and I guess most of it isn't actually kid-aimed, come to think of it. It's just more measured and relaxed than most of the anime that I would think about.
Exactly.
Like, one of the key elements of a lot of anime is like hyper-violent imagery.
Totally.
And these do not have that.
They don't have it.
I don't know. Have you seen Your Name?
No.
Okay, that's on this list, and it's wonderful.
Oh, cool. I'm looking forward to that because we read Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, and I was heavily inspired. So.
Yeah. I told Trinity that she needs to read it now because she watched Your Name with me and loved it. My wife hates anime.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's because when she was growing up and was drawing, she would tell people that she wanted to draw. Like, that's what she loved to do. And everybody was like, oh, so you like to do manga? And she's like, no.
That's not what I like to do.
And so she was very frustrated that
It's a very trendy reason not to do something.
Yeah, but she did very, very much enjoy Your Name.
That's cool.
Because I think no matter who you are, you can get past the anime stuff to see
a good movie.
You haven't seen that movie.
No. I know the general plot, and my mom loves it.
Also, just before we get there, the imagery is just like all of it is phenomenal. It's like I don't think any of it was oil painting,
but it feels
like just oil paintings for all of the settings, and it's
cool.
gorgeous.
That's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to Kiki's next week.
Yeah, me too.
How do we end this?